So I want to share with you really two stories that will express the power of reporting. One is the power of reporting in and of itself. The other one is the power of reporting up. So I remember when I bought a lawn care company, and this was the first time I bought a company where the employees came with it. The previous companies that I had purchased up to this point was really owner operated, family operated. And so I guess it came with employees, but it was like kind of family members. So they had kind of these special ins. This is the first one where there's no relation to the previous owner. They kind of already, they had like KPIs and everything established. So they were already meeting their goals. They already knew how to do it. And it was really just an opportunity for me in my head, at least, to take over, let them keep doing what they're doing, and I'll earn money as a result. And so that's what I did. I dove through these steps. I got through, the KPIs, critical drivers, SOPs. I assigned them to a crew and a crew lead. And this was a lawn care company in two things. One was like lawn care fertilization, so spraying, making grass green, getting rid of weeds. And the other one was lawn maintenance. So it's kind of mow and blow, trimming. I just, manager of lawn care, I said, okay, do your thing. Manager of maintenance said, do your thing. They knew the goals that they needed to hit. And it was awesome because I had gone through these steps and I was able to just sit back and kind of just let things happen. And I didn't have any complaints. I knew that the goals were getting done. And once a week or so, I just call these two guys up, the leads, and ask them like, hey, how are things going? They're like, everything's good. I don't have any questions. It's just work is normal. And I didn't really think anything of it until I did a random drug test one day, and it was just like an in-home drug kit that I bought at like CVS, and I had everyone come in, and it was funny. The first guy that I gave the little kit to, we were in the process of remodeling our warehouse, and so we didn't have a bathroom. It was under construction, and so we had rented an outhouse out in the back, a porta potty. I remember giving it to him, saying, "Okay, just go out back. We'll hang out here. We'll do it one at a time. Go do your drug test. Come back in a couple minutes, And I remember just talking with the guys, and 10 minutes had gone by, and this employee hadn't come back in. And so we're like, "Where is this guy?" So we went out, knocked on the porta potty door, and then realized that this guy's car was gone. This guy literally taken the drug test, thrown it in the back of his car, and drove away, drove home. And so we went on a little bit of an investigation, actually drove to his house, saw the kit was unopened in the back of his car, went to his house, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just, I'm not comfortable doing a drug test this way, like without giving any notice." And anyway, it ended up in us letting him go. And I had to hire someone new. And so we went through the process of hiring, and we found someone that we thought was really good, and we hired him, and just like went to the maintenance manager and said, "Okay, train him, like do your thing." And in less than a week, I started hearing stories from this new employee of him just complaining. It was like, these guys are bad talking the company. These guys are not doing the job right. And I get, stuff like that every once in a while. I try to establish good culture, but it wasn't like super new to me, especially from a new employee. And when I go to the manager and ask about it, the manager's like, "Well, it's the employee that's actually not working very hard." And so I didn't really know who to believe, except I was biased toward the manager. But then I started getting weird reports from this new employee saying like, "Hey, when I don't feel like you're listening to me, and I've been really light in my complaints to you, but like, here's what's going on. This guy, he is drinking on the job, like during lunch. He's the one driving these vehicles. Like, you don't even know what's going on with this part of your business. He's getting the job done, but it's like really, really dangerous and really crazy. And I just don't feel comfortable working here." And so I called the operations manager at the time, sent him out, and this guy, he drove up to the job site, and literally the crew had a beer can in his hand when he saw this guy driving up, threw it underneath the truck. And my ops guy, he looked through the lunch boxes and found multiple beer cans in the back of the truck that they were clearing out every day. And so he took these guys, took him in to get professionally drug tested, and the crew lead, he came back with like 5-6 times over the legal limit on alcohol, and I had no idea. I had no idea that this was happening, and obviously let him go. Ended up, I didn't know how to even mow lawns or manage the equipment, maintain them, so I ended up having to flash sale all of the like lawn mowing accounts, not getting a great multiple on it, and it's this huge mess. And that was when I realized that it's not enough just to assign the job description, KPIs and everything, and and just ask the guys. You can't assign and ask like, hey, is job being done correctly? Do you have any questions? There has to be some level of reporting. And so I went through my company and I established good reporting principles for all of my guys. And I spent honestly just a couple hours a week going through and pulling up reports and just making sure that they were doing the SOPs correctly. So I'd actually go out and audit their jobs. I would look at the data online, etc. And I found that there were some employees that were doing the job okay, like when I was watching them, but when I wasn't with them for the day, their stats went down quite a bit. And I would keep pulling these reports week after week and just getting frustrated because I felt like I was going in this rat race circle with employees, and where essentially I was doing the report, I wasn't happy with it. I'd go to the employee, they would respond well for a week, and then their stats would drop down again, and I pulled the report, and it was just this circle, they perform well and then go back down, perform well and go back down. And I was getting really, really frustrated with it. Plus, I was getting frustrated of having to go in and pull all these reports. And so I just decided I'm sick of pulling these reports. I don't feel like these guys really understand why I'm pulling these reports and why it's so important for them to be doing it. So I just this wasn't even planned really. I went on like a 1-week vacation, and I remember just asking the employees, this week I want you to do these calculations that I'm doing, and I want you to put this report together in this way, and just I want you to report to me while I'm gone if you're doing the job right, like kind of a return and report at the end of every day. Just tell me if you did your jobs, how many you completed, what your revenue was, if you met your critical driver for the day, if you had any questions. And it was amazing. It was that week when I was gone on vacation, we had like better performance from the guys than when I was at home, kind of micromanaging these people. And so I just kept it going. I said, keep doing your own reporting. And it was interesting. Even the guys that I was worried about, that I was kind of hard on, their performance went up and it stayed up. And a little bit later, I remember sitting one of the guys down and just asking him like, hey, like you were here and now you're here. What was it that changed? Did something happen in your personal life? Like you seem more motivated. He's like, oh yeah, I remember when like you had me do my own reports. That flipped it was like a switch got flipped in my brain, and all of a sudden my level of accountability went way up, because before that I felt like kind of a teacher student relationship where you're the teacher telling me what to do, and I was getting really demotivated, almost feeling like I was doing homework every single day. Where when you assign me to do the reports, I just felt extremely accountable. I felt like it kind of gamified it, and it really fell on my shoulders to do it right or not. And when I had to report on it, if I went a day not hitting it, and I was the one that said I didn't hit the goals for the day, I felt more guilty than if I just went through the day, didn't hit the goals, and was just able to go home, clock out, and you found out about it later. It gave me time to come up with an excuse. So it was an interesting conversation. And ever since then, I have always had the employees report to me whether or not they're doing their job, rather than me digging into them and pulling the reports and auditing them and feeling like a micromanager or a teacher-student relationship. So hopefully that helps you understand the power of reporting. One, you need to have some sort of reporting and not just an assign and ask philosophy to your business. You need to trust your guys, but you need to trust that the report that they're giving you is accurate. And we'll go into audit on the next step and see how assign, data, report, and audit all work together. But hopefully that helps you understand reporting is valuable, but also reporting up increases the accountability of your employees or whoever you assign it to. Next, I'm going to go into how you go about establishing this report up for your business. See you then.